the organizing committee for the Teso Coffee Forum 2026. This is an initiative by Kajila Africa Institute in partnership with the Teso Economic Agenda, the Teso Cultural Union, and other partners that we shall bring on board to ensure that we hold the first ever Teso Coffee Forum 2026. When will this activity take place? The Teso Coffee Forum has been planned for 15th of August, and it will take place at the Mayor's Soroti City Mayor's Garden, which is at the heart of Soroti City. Why are we doing this activity? I want to remind the public that Teso is one of the poorest sub-regions in Uganda. And I also want to go back to 1962, when the Europeans handed over government to the Ugandans. The president then, Milton Obote, stated three issues that were affecting us. That was poverty, ignorance, and disease. We still have this challenge in Teso. The income levels are very low. We have 73% of households that cannot have enough meals, according to the latest YouGov census report. And this has affected education and other sectors within the sub-region. So the Teso Coffee Forum is an opportunity for the Teso to come together and discuss this idea of embracing coffee as an alternative cash crop for the sub-region. Of course, this will go along with other enterprises that we do, like livestock and others.
The chairperson of this symposium that my colleague has just stated, slated for 15th August. I also happen to be the executive director of Kajila Africa Institute, and the symposium that we are running for, or that we want to have, we realize that despite the many opportunities of us having land and having good weather conditions, Teso has still remained to be experiencing low productivity in terms of even other crops that we always grow. This is not because of the challenge that we are not wise, but the major issue is number two that my colleague has talked about, knowledge. We have always said that disease, poverty, and ignorance, which one is our major problem? People run for disease, people run for poverty, but the ideal here is ignorance. So this symposium is here to bridge a gap between scientific research and commercial application, or commercial agricultural application. And we are looking at addressing the global industry in terms of enhancing commercial agriculture here in Teso, while now embracing the activities of agriculture. We realize that many households depend on seasonal crops here in Teso, and this can only be achieved if we teach them the right way of doing things, the right way of growing these crops. There is limited investment on perennial cash crops that we grow. This time we're talking about coffee, because of lack of knowledge. Some that have tried to bring in coffee have ended up cutting their trees because they feel it does not work here in Teso, simply because they do not know the rightful approach of growing coffee. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also want to address during this symposium the issues of climate resilience. Our land is very good at Robusta, but you realize that some of our farmers have already dug holes and they are very busy planting Arabica. simply because there is that gap of knowledge. And we want to fill this gap at the end of the day. We want to boost the local economies by elevating our region, Teso, by giving them the rightful dynamics and the rightful science of managing these agricultural activities.
Who have already spoken. Joseph Okolot. I happen to be the treasurer for this symposium, as well as the chairperson of Teso Economic Agenda. I'm just going to be so brief because I believe you have had so far 2 names here. There is Kajila, there is Teso Economic Agenda. We also have the Teso Cultural Union, and we also have Soroti University. And I believe more will be able to come in. Specifically, I wanted to speak why this partnership. Always in the partnership, it means there is something in common that both parties want to achieve together. Having seen the objectives of Kajila as an organization, and having seen the objectives of Teso Economic Agenda, we came to realize that we're focusing on achieving almost a common goal. How do we transform the economy of Teso sub-region as a region? Bearing in mind, when we were growing, we used to hear that Teso was among the richest tribes in Uganda. But right now, Teso is far more back in that trend. So we came to sit down and realize that no, there is a need for us to revive the economy of Teso once again. Because once you're economically stable, you're able to handle the other sectors. Talk of health, talk of infrastructure. It's not until that you're economically sounding, that's when you'll be able to work out those sectors properly. So having seen that there was a need for collective efforts, the efforts of Kajila, the efforts of Teso Cultural Union, the efforts of Teso Economic Agenda, the efforts of Soroti University, and more others, I know they will come in to see that we join our hands together and be able to achieve that goal of economic stability in Teso. So after coming together, we realized that what should we begin with? What should be the focus on? And that's where we're able to come up with the coffee. And somebody can ask, why specifically coffee? Because Teso has also other crops. We have cassava, we have peanuts, but having looked around, the trending crop right now in the country, it is coffee. At least every region is talking of coffee, and we have seen what coffee has been able to do in other regions. Talk of Bugisu here, talk of Western, coffee has been a gold crop. And again, having seen that Teso has lost identity of a cash crop. We all used to know that Teso used to have cotton as a cash crop, but cotton disappeared. We also had to say, since government has also come in a full swing, and I really want to appreciate the government of Uganda, and more especially the Vice President of Uganda, because she's one of those people who's in the center of this program of coffee. It's really something that we need to appreciate as a region. But why this symposium? Chairman of the symposium has already put it. It's not always good for you to venture in something that you don't know. So that's why we're able to think of this symposium. But this partnership will only not remain in coffee. It will go far beyond coffee, because we want to bring back that unity which used to exist in Teso. Because I remember in Teso, during those days, even farming itself was communal. We shall be able, the 20 or the 10 of us here, we will say, today we are going to the land of Chairman. And we finish the garden, we cultivate. We want to revive back that unity, back to Teso. Because bearing in mind, the only missing gap that we have in Teso right now is to have that backbone of unity. Teso has everything, but we need now to unite right from the leaders back to the locals for us to be able to achieve the economy that we are looking for. We're also trying to see how do we have a base, a demanding base, a lobbying base as a region. Because we know today, even the government finds it hard to support an individual. Some of the people have tried to make their ways out as individuals, but they have not succeeded. But once we have a base, even the government will say it's better for me to invest where there are many people. So that's why we're able to see that this coalition, this partnership, will be able to drive us even past the coffee. There are other things which can bring the development to the region. So that's why we're able to come up with this. So again, we also wanted to have now a crop of identity, a cash crop of identity. So having seen that everybody is trending with coffee and having the market both locally and internationally, we also say no. If all others have benefited from coffee, why not Teso?
We have experts, different experts in coffee growing. There's a lot of information moving around, and I think it is scaring some people from growing coffee. But other regions have done it. They have been very successful. So we are going to have successful coffee farmers from other regions, and the experts who will be educating our people, informing them and sensitizing them on how easy it is to grow coffee, how easy is it to make money. At the symposium, we shall have exhibitions, especially in terms of value addition, to see the products. We have a number of companies already that are making money in coffee. We have coffee shops, so inviting all of them to come on that day at the Mayor's Gardens in Soroti City. That's where the symposium will be, such that we showcase what coffee can do. There are people who do not even know the value of coffee.
Out an open invitation to all the farmers who want to grow coffee, all the farmers who are already growing coffee in Teso. Please come and be with us and learn from the experts. We are inviting all the NGOs who are promoting livelihoods in Teso, including the coffee value chains. Please come and engage with the farmers. We are inviting financial institutions. When you talk about agriculture, there is a challenge of access to finance. So we are inviting all financial institutions with products to support the farming communities in Kampala and wherever you are. Please make your way to Soroti City on the 15th of August. We are also inviting all the local leaders, including the councils. We are inviting the MPs, the area MPs. We are inviting all leaders to come. This is the time for you to show up for your own people, because we are talking of an activity that will change the economy of the whole region. We want you here. Of course, the cultural leaders will be part of this activity, because each is one of the partners, organizing partners. So all the cultural leaders are welcome. We want also to invite coffee processors. We want to invite the coffee transporters. We want to invite coffee exporters, because now you have a new market in Teso. And according to my understanding, when you are marketing coffee, there are certain things that are tied to production. For example, quality control issues and certifications. This is the time now to educate the farmers so that they produce the right quality of coffee that you require to process, to export, etc. So this is an opportunity, 15th of August at the Soroti City Mayor's Garden, for us to come and engage with the farmers. Thank you.